Hey there again, folks. Luke McDonald here with my ninth video journal entry in my Teaching in Catholic Schools course through York University. I just want to give a quick shout out to you, Michael. I've read your recent comments saying that you're really enjoying my video series, so thanks for that. And I'll certainly keep them coming for you then. I'm really finding that I can express myself. I can express myself well on paper or word processor, but I think this video series does a little bit of the best of both worlds because you can see the sincerity and the effort that I'm putting into these reflections. So without further ado, I'll continue this one. Today's theme will be on daily readings of the Bible and offering some of my own personal interpretations of the scripture and connecting them to my vocation as a Catholic teacher and the importance of Jesus Christ in the learner and teacher relationship. So I'll start with March 16th daily reading. I must say these are read on the video series by Deacon Keith Fournier. Excellent reader. His expression and emotion while he's delivering the scripture, Psalms, and the Gospel, it's just awesome. I really enjoyed. I actually read more than three, but for the length of this video, I will certainly just keep it to three. So the format, I'm going to touch on the first reading, skip the Psalm for time purposes, but read the first. Touch on the first reading, connect it to the gospel reading, and then form my own connection to Catholic teaching vocation. So without further ado, March 16th, we have Jeremiah chapter 16, verses 5 through 10, essentially which says, curse are those who rely solely on human strength or human relationships, because those who do that show a lack of trust in God. They use this excellent metaphor here of a very fruitful tree that has had its big roots rooted into the side of a riverbed, and that this is supposed to symbolize a Catholic who puts their trust in God rather than other people. So like a fruitful tree whose roots are in the riverbed, they do not fear the heat or their leaves withering because they're sustained by the river, which is a metaphor of God's love and wisdom sustaining us. The gospel for the March 16th reading was Luke, after my namesake. Luke chapter 16, verses 19 through 31, in which we see the story of Lazarus, who is a poor man living in poverty outside the gates of a rich man's house, who wants nothing more than just to even taste the scraps that fall off this man's table who lives in luxury. Unfortunately for the rich man, when they both perish, it's Lazarus solely who gets to enjoy the benefits and the eternal joy of heaven while he's rotting away in hell. And he begs Abraham and Lazarus to ease his pain, even just one drop of water to cool his tongue. And Lazarus tells him, not Lazarus, Abraham tells the rich man, I'm very sorry, my friend. You have the prophets, you have the scripture, and you denied them for earthly pleasure. So if you're denying Christ on earth, why would you be able to enjoy his benefits in heaven? So really strong message there. And my connection to the Catholic teaching of vocation is, what I took away from this is, do not let earthly constraints of the profession attract from one's true mission, which is obviously to join Christ at his table in heaven along with our students, and also not to think of ourselves as this superhuman teacher who can do it all on their own shoulders, using just earthly strength and knowledge. We always have to make room for the teachings of God in our teaching profession and use them to supplement our own. We can't do it alone. We have to walk with Christ as believers and followers of God. So March 17th reading, or the daily reading, it was Genesis chapter 37, verses 3 to 18, which is talking about Jacob and his sons, the sons of Israel and Joseph specifically. They talk about this really horrible, unfortunate jealousy that the brothers start to, starts growing in the brothers' hearts towards Joseph. And when he tries to visit them at the city of Dolphine, they construct this very devious plan to kill him, which is, you're killing your own brother. It's pretty horrible. I think we learned that from Cain and Abel. They're consumed by earthly sin and petty emotions. They're letting jealousy and these emotions of earth and corporeal life control their judgment, and they're not seeing the scripture. They're not realizing their connection to God, and remembering their lineage through Jacob, Isaac, and Abraham. So the gospel reading is Matthew chapter 21, verses 43 to 46, in which Jesus discusses the owner of a vineyard with some of his disciples and local priests. we see this kind of tragic story where the tenants of the vineyard refuse to pay their share in produce for staying in the vineyard, and they actually murder not just the vineyard owner's servants, but his own son as well when they go to collect the debt. Some of the disciples, and definitely the Pharisees and priests that are gathered to hear Jesus speak, they felt outraged. And when Jesus asked them, what do you think should be done? They advocated that, the vineyard owner should take revenge and kill these tenants who had taken his son away from him and murdered his servants without remorse. However, Jesus, the Lord, he chastises them. He says and cautions them because, basically reaffirming that revenge and anger breeds nothing but more remorse. And that God will judge these evildoers, and it's not up to man to judge their actions or to take vengeance on them. The innocents that perish will assuredly, receive blessings in heaven, or the vindictive will certainly, like the rich man in Lazarus' story, suffer torment in hell. So my connection to Catholic teaching, I kind of connected this to the part of the profession which a lot of people struggle with, which is behavioral management. I feel all too often teachers indulge their own egos and they get into these kind of ridiculous power struggles with students to kind of, enforce their own sense of justice. They feel, oh, well, they disrespected me, and they have to face the consequences, which is absolutely true in the time and place, but we have to very caution ourselves from getting into very petty and ego-centered power struggles. We should be forgiving and turn the other cheek, right? These are children and students, and we are the teacher. Just like Christ, we have to advocate, even if it means losing the battle, that we really do have to forgive the student, lest we become those very vindictive priests who hunger for revenge, because that will consume us, and it will certainly detract from our eternal soul and connection with God. Finally, I'll wrap up here with a March 18th daily reading from the second book of Samuel, chapter 7, verses 4 through 16. Essentially, God is telling Nathan in a dream to build a temple, and for his sons, after he perishes, to do the same, and they will be succeeded in his love and bounty. So to continue the faith of God and continue that lineage, and that they will always be blessed. The gospel reading, which is the book of Matthew, chapter 1, verses 16 to 24, tells the story of Joseph having these second thoughts about his relationship with Mary. He feels because she was pregnant before the wedding night that something fishy was going on. That is until angels appeared before him and told him not to spurn Mary, but to raise his child as he was the son of God, and to continue his lineage and not spurn his lineage or spurn the children, or the child more rather, that he will be responsible for. So I connected that pretty straightforward to my vocation as a Catholic teacher. It's the duty of Catholics, especially Catholic teachers, to do the work of God. But importantly, we have to raise the next generation of Catholics the right way. We have to serve as role models and exemplars, and not spurn them. Connecting that to the relationship between Jesus and the learner, and our teacher and our student, we kind of, I would never say we have to be Jesus, but we have to embody his teachings. We do have to serve as a role model. We got to show them what it means to turn the other cheek. We got to show them what it means to be a good Catholic, and we have to show them what it means to put the Lord above earthly desires. And only when we do that are we truly instilling, I think, the important lessons in our students' lives that are needed to, live a faith-filled and joy-filled life with Christ. I think that covers everything for this video. Thanks again for listening, folks, and I'll be back at you with another video soon, okay? Have a great, blessed day, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.